So in this lecture, we are going to discuss the AJAX and MVC Microsoft. So first of all, we have to understand what is controller. Controller handle the user request and render the appropriate view with the model data. What is model data? In which some important informations are there. And these informations are fetched or accessed by the controller and display on the view. So controller act between the view and the data. So it is the most prominent part of the MVC architecture. Controller act as an interface between the model and the view component. Controller coordinates with the model, view both. It coordinates with the model and view both. Okay. So practically, we will see how to set up the controller. For that, we have to start a practical in the Visual Studio. So this is the continuous lecture of the MVC. Let me start. Just a moment. Let me start the Visual Studio. I'm using the Visual Studio 2022. Clicking on it. Either we can start a new project or we can continue from the existing project. It's up to you. These are all the existing projects. See. So first of all, this is the basic screen of the Visual Studio 2022, or we can say that this is the home screen. In the top right hand side, there is an option called create a new project. Just click it. Now these are the recent project templates which we are using from the last few days. But suppose you are using first time, so these recent templates will not be appear. So which template we have to choose for the MVC architecture? This is very, very important because there are so many templates are there in the Visual Studio Microsoft. So we have to search. Listen carefully, it's very important point. ASP.NET Core web application Razor Pages C#. There are so many similar templates, but we have to specifically choose ASP.NET Core Web App Razor Pages. Okay. After selecting, click on Next. We have to decide the name of the web application which we are going to create in MVC. So I have taken my first web application. Okay. It will be stored in the location bvok console app G2. This is the folder where we can store this application. We can change this location by clicking on this button and choose another location by creating the object. Cancel it. Now click on Next. Default settings, we can leave it. Click on Create. Now, so till the project is creating, we can discuss something. What we are doing, we are creating an application in the ASP.NET MVC active server pages model view controller. This is the fastest, latest, and advanced pattern platform web technology of Microsoft. Now what we have to do, there are some background processings are running. Wait until unless you will not get this page. Okay. Just click on button Start without debugging to check what ASP.NET is default providing to the user. So just wait for a few seconds, have some patience. One home page or default page which is set by the team of ASP.NET will be appear on a screen. So this is the default home page opened by the ASP.NET MVC team. Now we have to create our own pages and we have to set up our own controller. So what is the controller? Controller is the main component of the MVC. So first of all, we have to add the controller because controller manage the view, controller manage the model. तो सबसे पहले जब हम वेब एप्लीकेशन डिजाइन करते हैं ASP.NET में, तो बिफोर एवरीथिंग वी हैव टू सेट अप द कंट्रोलर. तो सबसे पहले हम कंट्रोलर को सेटअप करेंगे. ये जो इंफॉर्मेशन आ रही है ये डिफॉल्ट इंफॉर्मेशन है MVC की. तो जस्ट मिनिमाइज इट. How to create our own controller. Make sure I just maximize it. And what are the steps you have to follow properly? In the right hand side, okay, we have to stop the debugging. Okay, so by mistake we have selected the wrong template. So back out and we have to choose this template, ASP.NET Core Web Application Model View Control. Okay. I have already told there are so many similar templates and we have to be very particular about the template. So this one is right or correct. Okay. I just double click. What we have done, we have created a new project with the new template. Now, web app. Then we have to click on next and then click on create. Because in that template controller was missing. Not an issue. Sometime it happens. It will create. It will take few seconds because this is all the web applications are server-side applications, and all the web applications run with the support of server. And which server we use? Information services. So whenever we ensure the server is responding or not, server is ready or not. So that's why it takes some time. Okay. Now, first of all, we have to run the default web page to check everything is right or wrong. This is called the testing page. So I'm clicking on it. And in a few seconds, a home page will be delivered on the screen. Then we will do some work with our logic, with our creativity. Okay. It will take few seconds more. Please have some patience. See, these are the informations are running. Now I think that the page is going to open. Yeah, this is the default page to ensure everything is right. But we have to set up our own controller and our own page. So I just minimize it. What we have to do, what are the basic steps? In the right hand side, we can see there is an option called controller. In MVC architecture, first of all, we have to set up the controller. Then we can do other things like view or model. So first of all, we have to add our own controller. So this is a controller folder. Just right click and add controller. Okay. Now we have to decide a few things. First of all, we have to select MVC controller empty because we have to create or set up the controller by our own logic. If we choose any other controller with there are some predefined codes, it will be difficult for us to understand that code. So we want to develop the controller from the scratch level. Now, I think we should magnify off. Okay. Now, empty controller and click on add. There is an add button. Just click on add. Now, we have to decide the name. Decide the name of the controller. So this is the name section. We can choose any name. So I'm taking main, main main. .cs, CS is the extension of C#, and controller is a part where we can do programming related things. And the programming of the MVC, officially programming of the MVC is C#. So we have to use the C# code in the controller. Okay. Now click on add. Whenever we add any controller, by default one function is there, index. So index function, this is a function. This function is used to create the view. What is the view? View is something which appears on the screen and user interact with the view. तो यूजर जो इंटरेक्ट करता है वो व्यू से होता है, और व्यू को क्रिएट करने के लिए ये फंक्शन यूज किया जाता है. बट हाउ टू क्रिएट द व्यू? Just in the body of this function, we have to right click and add the view. Click on add. Okay. Now there are two options. We have to choose the another option, Razor view. What is Razor? Razor is a view engine. What is the view engine? View engine provides the facility to write the C# code along with the HTML tags. So whenever we want to write some C# related codes with the HTML predefined tags like body, head, so we have to choose a view engine. So view engine is Razor. Razor is the view engine. Now click on add. Okay. Again, it will take few seconds. Okay. Now there is an option called use a layout manager. We have to untick. In the upcoming lectures, we will discuss about the master page concept in the MVC. In the master page, when we do some designs related to the CSS or the JavaScript, these designs are circulated in all the pages. So that concept is called master page concept. That we will discuss in the next couple of days. Don't worry. Just for in the starting lecture, just untick and click on add. Now, it will set up an environment for our web application. These are background processings are going on, scaffolding, and you can see that some options and informations are coming on this section. When you will get the information called generate code, it means your project is coming within few seconds. Generate code is there. Okay. Now, within few seconds, yeah, this is the view, basically. This is the view. Now we have to write two things in our copy or in the notepad. So here I'm writing. There's a side work which everybody must have to do. Just a moment. In MVC, we are creating the web application. So first of all, we have executed the default page to check everything is okay. Then we have added our own controller called main. What is main? Main is the name of controller. Okay. But one thing very important, controller cannot execute, controller cannot run, controller cannot appear on a screen. Then we have to add a view. View appears on the screen. and view always created through controller. Okay. So my view name is index, right? So controller name is main and view name is index. All right. Okay. Now note, we can create more pages or view by one controller. एक कंट्रोलर के थ्रू हम एक से ज्यादा पेजेस, एक से ज्यादा व्यू भी क्रिएट कर सकते, एक से ज्यादा व्यू भी क्रिएट कर सकते। जब हम क्रिएट करेंगे तो वो सारे पेजेस एक कंट्रोलर के थ्रू कंट्रोल होंगे। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अ टीचर कैन कंट्रोल द मल्टीपल स्टूडेंट्स। In the starting stages, one student is added with the teacher. Now, slowly, gradually, more students can add with the teacher. A teacher can control or manage or regulate the multiple students. Similarly, a controller can manage multiple pages. Okay. So maybe today we will see some more exciting examples of the MVC architecture. Now, see, this is our page. Okay. Now, I'm writing few things in this body. Okay. See, if you want to provide some bootstrap related activities, so you have to attach the link of the bootstrap. So I have created a folder. This is the folder jQuery data, and in this bootstrap folder is there, and these are the CDN content delivery network. So these are the link of the bootstrap. I just copied and pasting here. 1 second. In the layout after the null, we are providing the links of the CDN. Now we can do anything related to the bootstrap. Bootstrap is a separate lecture. Okay? I've already uploaded in my channel. You can watch the bootstrap related activities. So first of all, we have to create the div. Okay. This is my assumption कि आपको थोड़ा bootstrap आता होगा. Class is equal to container. Container is a box in which we write and in which we create our full web page. And MT4 is a heading. Now, in the H2 section, okay, important example to see how to use view engine with HTML. Okay. This is H2. Then after that, click on HR tag. Okay. Now we can test this page by running. Just click on this button, start without debug. When you will click, your page will not appear on the screen. I repeat, your page will not appear on the screen. The default page will always appear on the screen. So how to move, how to navigate from the default to your own created page? There is a procedure. So just wait for a few seconds. Let the default page open. I think it is there. Now, this is not our page we have set up. Now, what we have to do by changing the URL. So there is a URL. Just a moment, magnify. This is a URL. Now, what we have to do after the URL, we have to right click. We have to use a backslash, and then only we have to write our own controller name. That is main. हमें slash के बाद सिर्फ अपने कंट्रोलर का नाम देना होगा, और कंट्रोलर हमेशा जो by default पेज है इंडेक्स उसी को रन करता है. Now this is our page जो कि अभी हम लोगों ने सेटअप किया. So successfully we have done the practical how to set up the controller and view. Now we have to do something more. What we have to do? Just wait for a second. Now our main practical is started. Okay, see, we have to take some input from the user, like we are taking the salary from the user and increasing the salary from the server side and printing on a screen. This is our main task. Okay, so first of all, we have to set up the table for taking the input, TR and TD. And one thing more important, everything should be enclosed in the form, because only a form can be submitted to the server. So please be careful about this, what you are writing. Okay, this is the form enclosing. Okay. Now TD, enter employee name, then one more TD, and in this we have to write input type is equal to text and name is equal to N1. Okay. This is the name of the text field जिसके थ्रू हम इसे प्रोग्रामिंग में कंट्रोल करेंगे. So each and every field is identify the variable. So this is the name of variable. Now this is over. Now second TR. In the second TR, we have to take another TD. किसी भी वेब बेस्ड एप्लीकेशन पे काम करने के लिए आपका HTML, CSS, जावास्क्रिप्ट, बूटस्ट्रैप की नॉलेज होनी चाहिए. तभी आप काम कर सकते, तभी आप प्रॉपर काम कर सकते हैं इसके अंदर. इंटर एम्प्लॉय आईडी and then we have to use input type is equal to text and name is equal to ID. Okay, this one and another TR and TD. Here we can write enter employee salary. This is a big practical actually. It will take few times, but it's a complete practical. How the controller is interacting with the view and how the requests are going from view to the controller, and controller is accepting the request, processing the request and returning back to the result. A complete interaction, जो कि हम एक client और server के बीच में complete interaction देखेंगे. It's a complete layout of client server architecture. Now, input type is equal to number, because we know that the salary cannot be the text. Name is equal to sal. Just a moment. I think I've written something. Yeah. Name is equal to sal. And this will be closed. Okay, fine. Now one more important button for submitting the form to the server. TD. TD. And just 1 second, please. TR, then TD. Input type is equal to submit. Make sure you have to take the submit. Input type is equal to submit. And we can choose the class of the bootstrap, BTN success. This is a class of bootstrap. Now, if you want, you can put a heading H3 employee form. This is, यहां पर हम अपनी मेन हेडिंग को भी चेंज कर लेते हैं. Client server interaction. All right. Now we have to do some CSS related work to make the page attractive. I will give you the proper time to write. Wait for a few seconds. H2. Background color. Light coral. Okay, one of my favorite color. And color colon white. Okay, now this is the main heading color. Now H3. It should be H4. Yeah, H4. Now what about the H4 color? H4 background color dark blue and color colon white. Perfect. Text align colon center. So the text which is written in the headings will be appear centrally. Text align colon center. Now we should check how the page will be appear. Now there is a button called hot reload. Just simply click on the hot reload. The impression will be directly go to the page like that. Not bad. The design is perfect. I have created a form. Okay. I have created a form. Now we can see that there is a minor padding problem in the employee form. Wait for a few seconds. In the H4, padding colon 5 pixel. Now let me check. Hot reload button is there. Hot reload button is there. No, it's fine. Employee form, client server interaction. This is our form. Now we have to submit this form to the server for processing. This is the main task of this example. So I'm sure if you are doing the practical along with me, so you have developed this design. Just a moment. Yeah. So let's get back to the work. तो ये हमारा एक लेआउट प्रिपेयर्ड हो गया. अब इसमें कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट बातें हैं जो कि समझनी बहुत जरूरी है क्योंकि हम मेन वर्क कर रहे हैं. वी आर डूइंग द मेन वर्क. तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी हैव टू गो टू द मेन डॉट cs. It is our controller. Is our controller. This function is used to display the page. But this function cannot accept the request which is coming from the server. Okay. Now, there are two people in the home. One people is placing the order to the Amazon or the Flipkart. The another person is receiving the order. This is called streaming. So now we have to create one more function that will accept the request coming from server. Now, wait. Return view. Okay. Two function cannot be exist in a class. This is the violation. Two function cannot be exist with the same name in the class. This is the violation of function overloading, which is the most important principle of OOPS called polymorphism. So what we have to do, we have to make one function parameterized and we have to take all the parameters in this which we have taken in the form. Okay, N1 ID sal. N1 ID are the string and sal is an integer. N1 ID sal. So just a moment. String N1, string N1, string ID and int sal. Now you can see that all the red line has been removed because we have made to this function parameterized. Now, what we have to do, we have to increase the salary just double. So we have to take one variable, result is equal to sal multiplied by 2. What is this? This is called a C# programming. We are doing programming C#. Okay, that's why the controller extension is CS. CS means C#. Now the big question mark is there. Result is prepared in the controller and we have to send the result back to the view. Then our result will appear. So for that purpose, we use sessions. Okay, so just wait for a few seconds. I'm creating a layout. Then you will better understand. See, it will take hardly a few seconds to draw diagram. This is client, which is sending the request, and this is server. This is server. I'm writing here, this is server. Wait for a second. This is server, and this is client. Client is generating the request and server is accepting. Now, server, what are the responsibilities of the server? Wait for a second. Major responsibility to process the result. And after processing, this result will be sent back to client. So who will send the result back to the client? Sessions. Just a moment. Sessions. So what are the famous sessions supported by the MVC? View bag, view data, temp data. There are three important sessions by the MVC: view bag, temp data, view data. So first of all, we will use view bag. View bag is the session supported by MVC used to just a moment, used to send the result back to client. Okay, few things are clear. The clients are generating the request, server is accepting the request, processing the result, and sending back to the client. So for sending back to the client, we required sessions, and view back is a session, important session, used to carry the result from the server to client. Okay, fine. So here we have to write down view back dot res is equal to result. That's it. अगर हम कोई रिजल्ट व्यू बैग में रख देते हैं, सपोज वी आर स्टोरिंग सम रिजल्ट इन द व्यू बैग, तो व्यू बैग सर्वर से क्लाइंट पर रिजल्ट को ले जा सकता है. The result can be moved from the client to server by view bag. Okay, just saving all this information. Now how to display this result on the client? This is the last important point. So just go to the index, and after the form, just take a HR and a at the rate bracket. What is this? This at the rate open bracket and closing bracket is a view engine block. View engine block क्या होता है? What is view engine block? In the view engine block, we can write the C# code, and the result displaying on the client is a C# activity or a programmatic activity. So we have to check first of all viewBag.res not equal to null, means result prepared हुआ है या नहीं. अगर prepared हुआ है तो viewBag का res null के बराबर नहीं होगा. If the viewBag res is equal to null, that means result is not prepared. Result is not prepared. Suppose we are preparing some food in a container. If the container is empty, that means there is no food prepared. If there are something in the container, the food is prepared. Now, we have to display the result. Salary of employee increased, and we have to display. So at the rate viewBag.res. Okay. I have written all the things properly. Just a moment, a small CSS for the span. See, I personally recommend or suggest in every application of the MVC, you must use CSS and Bootstrap for better practice. Color colon, crimson, and font size colon 22 pixel. That's it. Now let me run this code. All the things are properly. Res is the variable inside the viewBag I've created. This function, N1 ID and sal. Once again, we are checking this is N1 ID and sal. Yeah, perfect. One more thing. I forgot that thing. In the form, you have to specify a few things. If form kahan submit hona hai. If you are taking the admission from a university, the university coordinator tell you where you have to submit the form. So method is equal to post and action is equal to main/index. So post means post method should be called. Post means there are two methods in the main controller. And the post method should be called. But I have not mentioned anywhere post. तो कौन सा मेथड कॉल होना चाहिए? पोस्ट मेथड कॉल होना चाहिए. अभी कोई भी मेथड पोस्ट नहीं. तो यहां पर you have to write http post like that. http post. Save all. I'm running the application, typing some information like suppose any name Sania Mahira. Employee ID 101. Salary I'm taking 80,000. Clicking on submit. Absolutely fine. This result is very important for us. Don't think it's a small result, it's a very big result. Means the client is generating the request, server is accepting the request and processing the result and sending back to the client. If one request is processed, then 1 lakh requests can be processed. Not an issue. Thanks to all of you. We have seen a wonderful example in the MVC by support of you all. If you have any clarification is needed, you can send information, posting the comments to my channel. I will definitely reply. Just a moment.